Welcoming the bougainvillea to the People's Apothecary garden so it can grow up the elder gate. Welcoming this early lavender to the garden to be with this other lavender. And welcoming this friend, the European olive, to the garden to hold a very central role at the edge of the garden. Hello, welcome to the People's Apothecary Garden. I'm Otis Bell, and I'll be your tour guide today. I'm standing at the beautiful lands of the First Nations of the Lekwungen speaking people of the Esquimalt, Songhees, and Wasanich, Sartlip, Sayot nations of what we now call British Columbia, which I think is interesting because that's such a colonial name, but it's a very indigenous, present, forward place. I'm grateful to live by the shoreline where a lot of peoples have met for a long time, and this is one of the shorelines I go to next to my home up the street. It's the People's Apothecary Garden. I am blessed to live next door. It's a space that I am today tending by bringing some plants and clearing out some milk thistle, which is it's a beautiful medicine for the liver, the seeds of it, which are very hard to harvest through the thorny heads, but it's also an invasive noxious weed. So I'm removing it while it's going to seed because I don't, got to take responsibility for what we start, hey? I'm a tender here. I have the word tender tattooed on my arm. Anybody you want to ever get a chance to get tattooed by Carolyn Paquet, check her out. And honoring all the sacred tattoo artists, sacred art. This garden is going to get a bougainvillea. It's going to get a lavender. A French one to go with the other one, I believe. It's going to get a European olive, which is a peace offering to hold the gate out there on the edge, kind of holding the parking lot gate. That bed needs some love. It's getting an olive to hold the edge, which is the center. Olive likes to hold a central place in human memory, and that's why we honor it. It's not about right or wrong, it's about culture and memory, which is what everything's made of. Which is why we love the garden. We love how it's diversifying our guts and our microbiome, which is just all the bacteria inside of us. We're a bacteria hotel, just like the garden. We're a garden. We're an extension of it. It's a big compost system. We have a lot of life being created as well. I'm clearing out milk thistle from this pathway here, underneath mulberry tree and a sumac tree and some rose bushes. We have a path covered in cleavers, which I will harvest as well before they are completely done. But I've removed some of these thistles here because as they grow, see, they're beautiful, right? Look at that. They're so cool, so beautiful. They're gonna also spread a noxious weed around that's very prickly and very hard to remove, like dandelion, right? They're related to dandelion. The asters, which is like stars, the stars of the earth. Daisies, even lettuce. You know what's another aster is mugwort. Mugwort, Artemisia like the moon, also an aster like the stars. The moon and stars go together, don't they? Artemis is the goddess of the moon. Here's elder, under the elder gate. When I'm clearing out these pathways, these are clearing out pathways. I'm thinking about how much knowledge comes through plants and gardens and how we got to clear pathways to them. This garden was donated here to the community, so it's awesome somebody's allowing this. It's a free space that we can gather and connect to plants. Plants reach out to you. It's a fun way to come to the garden to see, and I wanted to bring up something that milk thistle taught me today. Milk thistle is teaching me to clear the pathways. It's teaching me to tend. It's teaching me to not take for granted community spaces like this that I live next door to. It makes me feel like I want to come here more often to make sure this place stays well and weed it and maybe bring plants here to add to it. So my gloves match the plant, which I love. The other plant here I see is like vervain, which is beautiful. Purple is such a beautiful thing here, going purple like Prince. So anyways, the thistle family knows that medicine, and it's an ancient thing, thistles, for people. And we want the spiky friends. It's just we got to make sure we use that right or direct it right. We got to make sure we tend to that. Spiky stuff is like fire and swords. These weapons of destruction And birthing can also create. And as artists, we know that our fires warm us for connection, that our spikes spike us for protection, that sometimes those edgy, prickly places of the bramble patch just need to be tended to. You know, this garden hosts a lot of people's mental illness episodes, and a lot of these plants have hosted them a lot for us as people too, for endlessly. Plants co-evolve with people. If you go talk to them, they'll tell you different ones will help different things, just like us. You know, we're not all the same. You know how this person's a little more helpful for that, and this person for that? Plants are the same. If you go ask them about it, they'll tell you. You just have to learn to listen through your heart, which is an ancestral presence, and you'll hear your ancestors there too. It's amazing. You just do ancestral activities, and your ancestors are there. So the plants taught me that. We met there at the shoreline and at the plants and the horizon magic and in the garden. So yeah, bless the bees, blessed be, and tend to the spiky friends well, and those that are noxious, that are also medicine. Blessed be. As alchemists, we have to understand if we don't tend to medicines right, we'll miss the opportunities for them that are right there. We'll think of them as villains that are just mismanaged opportunities for extraordinary precious things.